Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for this new video. Today we are going to have a look at the next mission. We'll do the quick mission briefing and select the forces and their equipments as we do for every mission. So here is our world map, and as you can see here we start to take some ground, we start to retake Brooklyn. We already won those 4 missions over here. In the last mission, the 4 green mission, the last mission we did, we saved Jessica Kendall, which divided by 2 the recovery time of my injured model, John Grimes. So now he is not available just for the remaining 4 missions, including the one we are going to do this week. So now let's have a look at the mission we have available. So the 2 new missions that was unlocked after ending 4 green mission is the Clinton Hill and Prospect Heights mission. In the Clinton Hill mission, the government dropped some supplies by helicopter in the area and we need to find the crate. And this will give us 2 superior cards and 1 SHD skill, so quite great stuff. Right now we are really again missing some of the loot, some equipment, and also one of our division agents doesn't have some really strong, really powerful SHD skill, so this could be really interesting. Next mission is the Prospect Heights mission. There is an arms deal between the Rioter faction and the Cleaners faction, which is in grid in the map. And there is an arms deal between those 2 factions, and we have a set number of turns to disrupt this arms deal. And this will give us access to first a sniper rifle, and also access to a custom rule created for this campaign, which is what I call right now the sniper as OTA, off-table asset. And so basically, once you have unlocked Paul Rhodes, you can basically place any model using a sniper rifle next to the board, not on the board itself. You can place it next to the board with a sniper rifle, and it can act as any other model except that it doesn't move. It's just basically a sniper placed on top of a building next to the district we are doing the mission, and is just helping the guy that are evolving on the table. So it's just basically a sniper placed next to the table. And I've created this rule because generally a sniper is not deployed like just a few inches away from the rest of the forces. Generally they fire by really far away. So here with this rule I can place, for example, my sniper on a shelf next to the table, but he will still need to be placed physically next to the table so we can check his line of sight. So that's it. For the 2 new missions, we still have the Navy Yard mission that will grant us 3 vehicles that will allow us to choose our point of entry on the map, so this could be helpful. We have the Boerum Hill mission that will grant us access to Roy Benitez, which give 1 extra stat point to all our model, and I still want to wait to unlock to do this mission. And we have the Cobble Hill mission that will grant 1 smoke grenade and 1 new character. And actually I want to unlock more characters for my mission, and because also there is a reinforcement rule created for the campaign where I can, if I'm stuck in a mission, I can call in reinforcement from my GTF forces, and I need to create basically a 3rd team. Right now I just have 2 teams, so I can't call anyone. I need to create a 3rd team that act as a quick reaction force. And I know that in the Red Hook district there is an ambushed GTF patrol. If I saved them, I can gain up to 5 GTF models. So this could be an interesting mission to focus on later. Or there is also the Williamsburg mission that grants access to 3 new characters, and also the Bedford Stuyvesant mission that will give me 1 division agent. So there are a lot of really interesting choices on this world map, and that's a really tough decision. And I think what I'm going to... that's really tough. Maybe for the next mission, I'm hesitating between the Cobble Hill with the smoke grenade and the 1 new character, and the Clinton Hill with the 2 superior card and 1 SHD skill. I want to unlock more characters, so I will probably going to target Red Hook, and for that I first need to tackle Cobble Hill and then Carol Garsden. So yeah, let's do Cobble Hill mission. And yeah, the objective is to stop a rioter's broadcast signal. And yeah, that will be our next mission for mission number 5. So now let's have a look at the force available and their equipments. So here is the force we have available for that mission. So we start with Louis Alexander, a civilian that didn't participate in any mission yet. We have our agent of the division, Nick Hyatt. We have John Grimes, which has just been injured and is not available, so I will actually just remove him out of the way. I could use his weapon and give it to one of the models that will go in that mission, but actually I need some better silence weapon in my second team, so I will leave this card for now. Here we have John McClane, our detective, we have our SWAT officer Brian Gamble, and we have Dante Adams, our National Guard. So basically we will have these 5 models for our mission today. So now let's just have a look quickly at weapons. So we didn't find some new weapons in the last mission, but in the mission, the last mission that this team did, we actually find a couple of new weapons like the Bofors and the silence pistol over here. So I will leave this silence pistol to Dante Adams. I will probably so basically here I just have this guy that needs to have a better to have actually a weapon. Then I will just take either the SIG P226 or the Beaufort and give that weapon to him. So I'm going probably to just give him the SIG P226. Actually, I like that John McClane, the police officer, is wielding a pistol, so I will leave the pistol to him and I will actually give the Beaufort, the AK-5C, to Louis Alexander, who actually is wielding an assault rifle. So yeah, that will make more sense and that will look cooler. So we have Louis Alexander that have a pretty good shooting stat, 3, pretty bad defense, but yeah, it's most of my miniature are like that. So he is wielding the AK-5C, Nick Hyatt with the pistol, 2 division tech, 2 abilities. This one is a pretty dope agent. We have John McClane with the P226, Brian Gamble with the suppressed MP5 and the radio. Right now can't really use the radio, but it will become useful soon. We have Dante Adams with the FNX45. I don't need the Kimber, so I will just remove the Kimber if I unlock a new model later on. And I will actually, on the AK-5C, I have a rail at the bottom and I also have a rail on the top. So I actually take my 2 attachments over here, the holo sight that gives +1 to targeting roll and the grip that can reroll when rapid or auto-fire, can reroll one of the shots. So I will take those 2 attachments and add it to Louis Alexander over here, so he'll have a better chance at laying down some fire. So that's it for my team. So just trying to move out of the reflection. So we have for this mission 3 silence weapons. We have Nick Hyatt with a pistol, silence pistol, another silence pistol over here, 1 MP5, and yeah, two weapons over here with no suppressor. So yeah, that's it for my setup for my group. Hope you like this quick video. Before I leave you, I want to also quickly introduce some of the new rules that I'm going to use for the next mission. As you may have noticed, I've been introducing some of the rules, not all of them at the start of the campaign, most because I'm still working on the rules, and I also didn't want to start with everything with the first mission. I'm still learning the Spectre rule book, and I'm also creating a lot of new stuff on top of that. So the new rule that I want to use for the next mission is the ammo management. Since the beginning of this campaign, I've been doing mostly double tap, like rapid fire, automatic fire, sustained fire in the last mission with the RPK, and those shots was most of the time always lethal. But in real life, at some point, especially when you are firing really quickly a lot of bullets, you need to reload. So I want to introduce a reload mechanic to my game. So basically, here is the rule. So what I've created is that each weapon, based on their mag size, will start with a set number of ammo token. For example, a 30-round mag will start with 5 ammo tokens, where a sniper rifle will only start with 2 ammo tokens. Then, when my miniature will fire, depending on the type of fire, this will consume a set number of tokens. So a standard fire will consume 1 token, a rapid fire will consume 2 tokens, and an automatic or sustained fire will consume 3 tokens. So that will be really interesting to see how it plays in the game, and also it's really important to say that the reload mechanic will be replacing the combat action. So hopefully this will bring some more depth to the strategy and to the tactic in the game itself. The next rule is the prisoner rule. So it's a rule that was suggested by Jay Rombones, who is the creator of the Au Contact rule book, which is a French wargaming miniature game. And the idea is that when you enter melee hand-to-hand combat with an enemy model, you can basically capture him, handcuff him, and if you manage to take him out of the board, on the following mission you will get some intel on the position of some enemy placement token. So I will explain that in more detail if and when it will happen, but that's the general idea, that it could be interesting if I manage to capture someone to extract him out of the board. And finally, the last rule is not a new one, is the loot system, but I've been reworking a bit it based on some comments and some message I've received on social. So first, right now the loot system is only on dead bodies. And for now on, I will be also able to loot police and military vehicles following the same rules. It's a 1 to 2 chance to find something. Then what I also did is that I've split each of my deck into different decks. So right now I have 3 decks of cards based on the quality of the card itself. So standard is the green card, superior the purple card, and high end is the yellow/gold card. And each of those decks, you can find in them weapon, but also accessory like body armor, night vision, and also weapon accessory like a red dot or a silencer. And what I've did is I divided this in 2 decks. So I have 1 deck for weapons that I will only be able to find on enemy dead bodies, and the equipment and weapon accessory will only be found on police and military vehicle. So that's the new rule. And also, in addition to that, for every mission I will roll a D3, and this number will be a weapon crate placed on the board. So for example, if I roll a D3 and I end up with a 2, I will place 2 weapon crate somewhere on the board, and this will be a guarantee loot. I will automatically find something in that crate, and I will just roll to define the quality of it. So that's it for the new rule that I'm going to use on the next mission. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks everyone for staying with me today, and see you for the next one, for the next battle report. Bye everyone!